There's a lot going on this season that deserves mention, like Akiba Maid Senso and its Gun Otage, Blue Lock, which is a soccer death game anime, Kage no Jitaro Kusha ni Naritakute, which is just so hilariously chuny it's amazing. There's Engi's new anime, and Cloverworks might finally do something decent. But there's also a lot that, just leading up to this season, had a lot of hype or legacy around it that made the current season into one of the most looked forward to seasons I've seen in quite a while. And the crazy part is, a lot of this stuff is actually kinda good. Not everything though, mind you. So in this video, I just want to talk about those things which drew up a lot of hype leading up into the season. So I've never really been into Uzaki-chan or Bleach, and I'm not really getting caught up with Boku no Hero at this point. I dropped Mob Psycho at episode 2, but all of these are getting more anime, which I'm sure is hype for the mainstream crowd. Speaking of mainstream, Jump is having quite a strong presence this season. Other than Boku no Hero, there's a lot going for them right now. The second part of Spike's Family starts, and the first episode was pretty nice. It's more of the same if you liked the first half, which, if you breathe, you probably did. That anime was just insanely popular out of nowhere. Which, I mean, is pretty interesting. I thought casual anime fans hated lolly anime, but suddenly a lolly anime is top of the charts. I talked about it in one of my previous videos. But my theory is just that it's the first one that the mainstream crowd has ever seen, now that, they're done calling everything Japanese weird and pedophilic. It might have been the first time a lot of them actually gave an anime like this a chance. It seems like they're finally ready to start watching airing anime with us, and hopefully they continue to put their biases aside. Also, Iruma is getting a season 3, which I'm all for. I thought the first season was enough personally, but I'm glad something so fun is actually being supported for so long. It's also Jump, so it's likely we're going to be seeing a lot more of this one as well. And finally, the biggest Jump title this season is probably Chainsaw Man, which somehow caught the mainstream hype train and I have no idea how it happened. People have been going crazy for every announcement, every trailer over the past few months. How does the mainstream crowd even know who Tatsuki Fujimoto is? He was popular among a niche manga crowd for his work on Fire Punch, but I'm pretty sure most have never even heard of Fire Punch, so how would they know about this? It's not like it's being made by Trigger or KyoAni or Ghibli or any really big name. It's a MAPPA anime, and they've made some questionable anime in the past. It really is a mystery. Hopefully it's good, so it brings more fans into the fandom, but to me it's looking a lot like something like Dorohedoro or No Gun's Life, which I didn't think too highly of personally. Then there's Megaton Musashi. It's getting a new season and I'm so excited for it. The first season was insane. Tell me the last time you've seen a super robot show with a hot-blooded MC and crazy SF tropes everywhere. It doesn't happen very often anymore, does it? The game is turning free to play this year. Hopefully it does well because I'm loving the show. It has a cross-promotional with Nagaya Go. Apparently Mazinger Z and Getaroba will be appearing in the game. Playable maybe. I'd play it if I had a Switch. Look into it if you can. Megaton Musashi really needs more buzz than it gets. And Urusei Yatsura. Honestly, I'm tired of all the 80s nostalgia bait. It's been going on for so long, but it is more Lum, and I can't say no to that. The one thing I am excited for in this adaptation is Lum's hair. Originally, Rumiko-sensei described her hair as being laserdisc colored. That is, the blues and greens shimmering back and forth in the light, and they seem to be doing justice to that vision this time. In the old anime, they could just make it a standard green with highlights. Something that was easier to animate. For all some people's jadedness towards the 2000s digital switch and the reliance of CG effects that the industry took nowadays, there are just some things that just couldn't be done the old way. I'm glad we've come this far.
And I, for one, welcome our new
GG
overlords.
Speaking of nostalgia bait, is it time for 90s nostalgia already? Reiwa Digi Chara, which is literally called Reiwa Digi Chara, is happening. It's actually happening. But the strangest nostalgia anime for me is this. They're really making a Legend of Mana anime. When was the last time this RPG was even relevant? Does anyone remember? It's crazy there's an anime for this. It's not even the latest in the Mana series, It's specifically the 1999 Legend of Mana that's getting an adaptation. The Berserk movies are getting a TV adaptation, which is kind of funny to me. Usually it's the other way around. And then there's also more Muv-Luv alternative for the VN fans to get angry about again. But then, there's more Molcar. I love this show. It's a stop-motion, cute show about driving hamsters. It's just really surprisingly enjoyable. It's just fun 5-minute episodes, so give it a watch if you haven't seen the first season yet. Surprisingly, Yamano Susume is still going. It's an old type of comfy moe SOL about girls hiking. Iyashike, like Yuruka, if you liked that one. The first season of this was back in 2013, so it's been around since the height of the moe SOL bubble we had going on back then. Speaking of moe SOL, the genre isn't really the most popular anymore, but there's a brand new one this season. It doesn't really have any legacy or hype about it, but I just have to talk about this one. It's looking pretty good. It's about DIY projects. The theme of the show seems to be bringing back old-timey ideas during a slightly futuristic setting, so it fits. It's also bringing back bandage moe, which it was a trend that Eva started with Rei, but fell off quite a while back. Moe. And it just has beautiful backgrounds, like we're back before the digital switch. They look like high-contrast paintings. The animation is great, and the art is really nice and stylish. And there's Yuri, I swear. Then there's more Gundam. It's actually a brand new universe, so anyone can jump in, even if you've never seen a Gundam before. They released a pilot preview episode a while back, and it was so good. I've seen a lot of people hate on the show for some reason. I really don't get it. It has everything a regular Gundam fan loves. Cool robots, striking visuals, fascinating political drama, conflict between Earthian and Spacian factions. There are moral conflicts concerning development of new technologies. There's tragedy and passionate resolve. Good action, good drama, it's got it all. I'm loving it so far. The Jobber mobile suits are SD this time, and I love my SD robots. The Gundams are so fascinating too. This time they bind onto the neural network, and since it's such an experimental tech at this stage, people become paralyzed and actually die from too much use. This fact is the impetus for the main conflict of the show. See, the technology was developed for helping people live out in space, zero-gravity conditions and the like, but then the tech was used for military purposes because, of course, it's Gundam. This man here is taking after Anno because he wants to destroy all Gundams. Maybe Gundam will finally destroy Eva this time. In addition, I'd regret not mentioning how in the first episode there's a cute girl who tends to a garden, and a pushy suitor who uses school rules to duel his way to claim her as his bride. And after MC defeats him in a duel, it's easy to say where the inspiration came from. There's so much fan art just from the first episode alone. MC is Moe and the bride is Kurere this time, so it's almost like Anthony and Utena's roles were swapped. It's a fantastic anime so far. Even if you don't like regular Gundam, it's really hitting all the right buttons for me. But the anime of the season, above everything else, they really did this.